Hi, I'm Nick from Stein's Cookery School here in Padstow, and today I'm going to show you how to open oysters. So most importantly with oysters is have the right equipment. So we've got a nice oyster knife here. This is the preferred one I like, with a nice thick blade and a good point on it, and then protection. You need to have a doubled over tea towel or a chainmail glove or something like that, but it's not always down to technique. You can have the best technique in the world, but if the oyster shell shears, you've got an oyster knife in your hand, so it's really not pleasant. So never ever attempt this without a good cloth or equivalent. So we've got some Pacific oysters here, and they are more common than the native oysters, and they're sort of this classic sort of tapered shape. And down here we've got the knuckle. So you've got like a little knuckle here at the end, and that's where we're going to go in. Okay. When we go in, there is an abductor muscle that attaches the shell from the top to the bottom, and it's always at 3 o'clock. So if you're looking at the oyster up like that, it's at 3 o'clock, and that's what we've got to cut through. Okay, so get your oyster into your hand, protected by the tea towel. And the really important thing is, if you open oysters badly, you will snap your knife. Okay, so the weak part of the blade is the face of it. So we want to make sure we're using the spine of the blade to lever the oyster up. So the first thing is to put into that knuckle, and then we want to go side to side. We don't do any twisting. It's nice and flat, side to side. I always think of the birdie dance when we're doing this, like da la la la. Okay, so oyster knife in like that, go side to side, a little bit of forward pressure, and in it goes. Okay, straight away. And then all we're going to do now is twist and lever that up. Okay, always remember to twist and lever it up, and then I'm going to go through and cut through that at 3 o'clock up there, and then out comes the shell, like so. We've got a nice clean oyster. Okay, so I'll show you that again. So oyster in there like that, knuckle down towards you, put the blade in there, side to side, a little bit of forward motion, and in it goes. And then once you feel the knife go in, twist like that, then layer it up, and then we're just going to pull down the skirt and cut through that 3 o'clock abducting muscle, and out it comes. Okay, and just make sure you clean the oyster. Make sure there's no little bits of shell in there, because that's what will scratch your throat when you eat it and give you that gag reflex. So always make sure you clean that out, and then sit them up nicely, and they'll release their own juices. Okay, go for another one in there like that. So in at the bottom, side to side, a little bit of forward pressure, and then once you feel the knife go in, twist it open, lever it up, and cut through at 3 o'clock. And clean that out, make sure there's no shell. And there we have it, nicely opened oysters.